Welcome to the Everyone's a Critic Movie Review Podcast 1993. I'm your host, Sean Patrick. Joining me is Amy Kay.
Hi.
And MJ.
Hello.
And this week, we're talking about a movie that was released on February 5th, 1993.
Yeah.
February 5th, 1993, 30 years ago. Loaded Weapon 1, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Emilio Estevez.
Right. So, I mean, so far, we have watched some of the worst movies of 93, and we're just getting into it, but this finally was a nice reprieve.
This is an actual good movie.
Yeah. Actual good movie, with actual real laughs.
Genuine, not we're laughing because of the movie, not at the movie.
Right.
Yes.
Like Body of Evidence.
Children of the Corn is ostensibly a much funnier film, I would say.
It's a dark comedy,
The
Children
laughs,
of the Corn.
The laughs in that film are much harder, but they're not intended.
Right. This is like the good kind of guttural laugh that you're like, I really enjoy this. I'm actually laughing because I'm enjoying it.
This is a Lethal Weapon parody. Lethal Weapon, one of the biggest hits of the time, and inescapable hit. And they decided to parody that with Samuel L. Jackson in the Danny Glover role and Emilio Estevez in the Mel Gibson role as the suicidal cop with a dark backstory.
He's a loose cannon.
He's a loose cannon.
He's got nothing to lose. All because his dog
He's a
went
nom.
missing. Yeah, he's a nom. You see him, we learned right away, and just like we did with Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, that he lost somebody very special to him in the beginning, and that's what makes him so crazy.
Yeah.
But it turns out to be his dog, which I think is great. I believe that.
His dog
know?
Claire.
His beautiful
dog
dog
Claire.
Claire.
Claire, who used to lick his toes.
Bury his nose in your crotch. Is that what he said?
She was always really excited to see me.
Oh, and just right off the top, to Samuel L. Jackson, I forgot about how funny he was in this. And there are just moments that I'm just like, wow. Because he can pull off comedy. He's damn good at it. But, yeah. It was kind of hard. Like, I kept watching it through MJ's eyes because all of these... And you have, like, little bits of parody of these films in... like, we've got Your Basic Instincts. We got, like, these little kind of callbacks to 90s films already. Especially 92. Because, we reference... Wayne's World, so much of these blockbusters. But watching it through MJ's eyes, only because I kept thinking, they're not going to get some of these references. So, and I felt really bad because we're both like, oh, see, there was this happened back then. It's great for Sean and I to watch it. But...
There's a bit right at the start where Emilio Estevez goes into a convenience store and is reading magazines, and suddenly a bunch of magazine inserts start to fall out. It's like... you don't even have pop-up ads anymore, really.
Nope. Yeah.
The things that might compare to this.
Well, actually, I do remember some of them, because Grandma always had some in that bathroom,
yes, she
so
did.
I do remember.
And you'd open it up, and there a bunch of the cards would fall out.
And it's like, there's like a lot of the just inserts just in there, and it's just like, well, that stuff is weird.
Sean turns to MJ and says, see, we had these things called magazines. Rude.
The printed word
The
used to be
printed
a
word.
thing.
This,
It's a great bit though, because then once the plot kicks in of that moment, like thugs come in and like they crack open the eggs with hose inside, and then they put them on their heads after they've already revealed who they are. It's a solid bit, but then they cut back to Estevez and he's standing, and there's just this pile
of those
magazine inserts around him.
And he just has to walk out of them.
so great.
It's so simple, but it's so smart.
Yeah, I agree. And now, just to say too, what I think probably one of the best parts about this was the stars littered throughout it.
There are so many people in this movie.
Many.
Everyone is in this movie.
Everyone is in this movie. I mean, early on we see like William Shatner. We've got Dennis Leary, who I totally forgot Dennis Leary
Singing
was in
Van
this.
Halen.
And
In
singing Van
the
Halen.
lounge style.
Right, and Denise Richards was one of the backup singers. It's like, wow, all these people are in this. Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. The Phil Hartman bit's my favorite.
Phil Hartman was the best bit.
Phil Hartman is playing
God, I
a cop.
love him.
Samuel L. Jackson and Emilio Estevez show up at this scene that's kind of reminiscent of one out of Lethal Weapon, where there's some guys. You think it's going to be like a suicidal guy, but it's not. It's just a couple of guys who are just shooting from up there.
Yeah.
So Corey Feldman is there, and he fires off a shot after Samuel L. Jackson tells nobody shoot. And so Phil Hartman is on the side, and he's just kind of giggling over it. He goes, why do you think this is so funny? Why don't you make everybody laugh? And he gets up and he does stand-up. It's so great.
With a brick comedy wall behind him and the lights.
Terrible dad jokes.
Terrible dad jokes. Oh, but it was so good to see him, though, too.
Yeah.
I really love that. But we saw, we had a ton of character actors that we recognized. Like, J.T. Walsh was in there. Paul Gleason was in there. I mean, and randomly. We had both Chips cops. We had Eric Estrada, and I always forget the other guy's name.
Yeah, nobody remembers that guy.
He's just a white beige character, anyway. That was probably my favorite part. To see, and I can't remember her name either, but we kick off this kind of female role in this film with the lady that used to be the desk clerk in Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Do you remember? And then she goes to change and she takes her hair down. All of a sudden, she's Kathy Ireland, and I loved that. I thought it was such a great bit. Such a great bit.
That was terrific.
Yeah.
It's such a smart bit too. That of course that leads into our Basic Instinct reference, because Basic Instinct at this time is inescapable.
Right.
It's
everywhere.
movie.
Yeah. Everywhere.
And now, MJ, you'd never seen Basic Instinct.
No,
You're
I've
lucky.
not.
You only know basically what we've told you
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
that it's
it's
kind
naughty.
of culturally insensitive and very
Disgusting.
sweaty and Michael
Really moist.
Douglas-y.
Yeah, it's another moist film from the 90s.
Well, luckily this one wasn't a moist film.
I get it felt very dry
It was dry.
to the touch.
Aside from Emilio Estevez's ass.
Oh my god, that's true.
But that didn't look wet, it looked plastic.
It did. And I enjoyed that thoroughly. But this whole Basic Instinct scene, which was so great, so there's Kathy Ireland, she's on the chair just like Sharon Stone was in Basic Instinct, but she keeps spinning her chair around, and everybody in the gallery were just like they were just waiting for that hot
So the scene
moment.
The scene in Basic Instinct is very sweaty. It's like a bunch of cops are interviewing
They're all
Sharon
smoking.
Stone.
Yeah.
They're all smoking and they're all leaned forward.
You can smell it in the room. You can smell it.
Wayne Knight is just covered in
Yep.
sweat.
Yep. Just like every day.
They're asking her questions, and then she opens her legs, and you see it. And it is the most ruining of VHS scenes in
Yeah.
history, because everybody, and myself included, we all did this, ruined VCRs trying to stop it. Because
Just
unless
so
you
you
got
can
the
see it.
X-rated version, the X-rated version would actually stop
Yeah.
long enough for you to see it. If you didn't have the X-rated version, you had to pause at just the right moment to see it, just so you could see Vag.
I have one and I don't want to look at it. But the gag in this is so great.
It's such a terrific piece of inversion. It's really great, and Kathy Ireland plays it great.
Okay, just for reference, Kathy Ireland is no actress.
No.
You know, I mean, if you watch, what is it? Not Escape from L.A. It's a Mystery Science Theater film. Golden Globus.
She plays an alien.
Yeah. Alien from L.A. And I actually love that, especially the MST version of it, but the acting is so terrible. So it was nice to see her do a movie that wasn't Golden Globus, that wasn't weird, and she looked like she was having a lot of fun. Actually, I don't think anybody in this film looked like they didn't want to be there. You could just tell they
everybody
were
was
enjoying
having
it.
a lot of fun doing this.
Right.
She was a Sports Illustrated cover model.
Yeah.
Was her main thing, like the swimsuit issue. She was all over that for a few years.
Yeah, it's true. And then she released a clothing line at Walmart, which was really ugly.
She's like one of those people you think about her now and you worry like she's some kind of right-wing anti-vax nut or something.
Yeah,
like just that she lives in that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is. Like I don't want to impugn her
hope
integrity,
not.
but like she's in that sphere of celebrity.
Jeez, yeah. Those are always the ones where you're like, oh, they're on Twitter and they've got, the flag next to their name or whatever. Yeah. No, but anyway, so this whole bit, and she finally turns around. All the guys in the gallery have taken off all their clothes. They're all wearing boxer shorts, and then it cuts back to Kathy Ireland. Only she's not there. It's an actual beaver.
Gratuitous
beaver shot. And it's fantastic. That's probably my favorite scene in this film.
It's almost almost a feminist bit to some of the humor here. It's great. Like,
it is.
I mean, the times Emilio Estevez, like, openly gay character,
clearly.
like, just clearly openly gay or bi.
I love him running on the beach with these dudes.
He's just holding hands with these dudes. Like, do you remember this one? Yeah. No, not that one. Oh, the other one? Yeah, no.
Oh, I never slept with him. We weren't that involved.
Oh, you get Emilio in a nice red teddy.
Yeah,
too, at one point. I was not
pulling
expecting
that
that.
off. Pulling it off.
Loving that moment.
Oh, still had the heels on
Yeah.
after they
Classic,
switched back.
like a classic Bugs Bunny gag.
Yep, totally.
So awesome. Where like they come out of the room and one's wearing the other's clothes. It's great. That was terrific.
That was terrific.
Following a great gag in which John McClane is in.
Yes!
Bruce Willis actually playing John McClane according to the
Yes.
credits. The bad guys go and actually shoot up his house instead of Emilio Estevez's house.
He's holding up the white flag. What are you doing? No, that's down the street.
You blew up the wrong trailer.
Great. It was great to see it. Again, you don't expect that. Like
Yeah.
I saw this in the theater when it came out, and I don't remember that. Like I said, I don't remember Dennis Leary. Like, it all started coming back. I'm like, why don't I remember that scene? That's crazy.
Tim Curry is in this.
Love him.
He wasn't quite as good as like a classic Tim Curry. I
It's
thought.
true, but I still like seeing him.
Not their proper use of your Tim Curry.
His
He needed more.
Please use your Tim Currys properly. There's no Frankenfurter in this one, but
He's kind of playing the Gary Busey Lethal Weapon 2 role.
Yeah, but he's also got the he's got
A terrible accent.
yeah. Well, I was going to say Alan Rickman in Die Hard. You know, he's kind of got like that kind
Very
of evilness.
thick accent.
Very,
Great scene with him and Whoopi Goldberg.
him in the Girl Scout uniform. Or
dressed up as
yeah,
a wilderness girl.
Wilderness
Oh,
Girls.
yes, that was great.
Sorry, copyright. I don't want to. Yeah.
That's a great bit too, where she just continues to be helpful to him, and he continues to just pop bullets at her every time.
Keeps asking her questions. Is that the one on Alpine? Thank you. Whoopi, I love Whoopi.
Park down the street.
You're
never gonna
working on
find a
Alpine. We're actually smiling when we're
Yeah.
doing this.
I know.
Do
These
you remember how
jokes are
drained we were during
intentionally
Hext?
good.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
Why?
So you've never seen like a parody movie before?
Not a. Well, oh wait, no, I have seen a parody movie. I've seen Spaceballs.
Okay.
Yes!
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah, this is
Classic.
in that vein. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just like no, yeah, I did see that.
Well,
See-
what is amazing about this is that you didn't need to know all the references to find some of this stuff funny.
To laugh.
Oh, yeah, I mean-
genuinely laugh.
And a lot of them are like more common things in TV shows and movies that I have seen.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, yeah, okay, that's funny.
Wait, and you've always been pretty adept at figuring out the pop culture references too, because I mean, you watch shows that kind of make you okay. What's that from? I need to look that up or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I try to seek things out to find out why.
And why to find out
Just
why?
why.
Why anything really?
Why?
But like, there's gags in this like you don't even need that. Like everybody knows about cops and donuts. Like that's a thing. And there's a great cop donut joke in the movie. A couple of them.
Want a framed poster of donuts?
Of
I
glazed
want it.
donuts.
Glazed donuts on a plate.
But like
Fantastic.
just randomly, like they're walking through the police station and there's a hair salon in the back. They've got a fucking
Buffet.
full buffet.
Omelet station.
I've got this big espresso maker.
Oh, that's right. And then you've got Scotty from
Yeah,
Star
James
Trek
Doohan.
popping up there, and
Yeah.
Just like, we
Sorry,
can't make it
Captain.
work.
that was great. That was absolutely. I mean, again, you can't really go. I should probably not say it like that. I was gonna say you can't really go wrong with National Lampoons, but yes, you can.
You
because
can. They
trust me.
Lately, the last few years, they made some really terrible movies. They worked with Paris Hilton on one.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh
Ugh.
God. I mean, since
Yeah.
the late '90s,
It's been a while.
National Lampoon's has kind of sucked, but. Back in the heyday of like '70s and '80s, I mean, everything that they did put their hands on was gold. So it's a shame that we've lost.
It's
but then-
interesting though, like when you look at the National Lampoons, though, like did they have their name in front of a lot of parodies? Like they did. I know Animal House isn't a parody; it's a
No.
straight ahead. Like
Yeah.
National Lampoon's Vacation is not a parody.
But it's still
a,
it was still the writers. It was
Yeah.
still all the people that were yeah.
But like this is in the vein of like if for people listening like Naked Gun.
Yeah.
This is a Naked Gun style movie. This is a
they took a shot at Hot
Airplane.
Shots, which I thought that was so fantastic. I loved Hot Shots, but again, like that's one that I need to go back and watch again too because it might not hold up. But
very very funny cameo by
Charlie
Sheen.
Yeah.
Playing Gurn.
Just so random. He just it's like he's trying to get on screen there too. He's just keeps coming back with a line, but yeah, I love that. I loved that. Just the references again. I think especially you and I were scared to go back to this because this film was made in a time where we're not like we thought we were going to see some pretty offensive shit in here.
Yeah, and well, when you look back at Hexed, I mean, again,
Yeah.
Hexed is like
Well, that just offends single cell
Yeah.
organisms, you know.
Offend everything in existence.
Just dust mites are
existing.
angry.
then you got Body of Evidence before that.
Yeah.
It's like these are not movies. Sensitivity was not a thing.
No, absolutely not. But this, I mean, there wasn't a moment like I didn't cringe
Yeah,
once, which
that
I was
shocked
really
me.
surprised.
I was expecting to cringe
like,
over
ooh,
like
that didn't hold up well. Yeah,
or just being lame. I just
Yeah.
thought like it might be lame. Like so often these things will turn out to just be lame. Like the modern parodies like Epic Movie and they're just garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're just basically Epic Movie is basically just a lot of references to movies where they just act out the movie and expect you to laugh.
Yeah.
Like here's a guy who's Jack Sparrow and he just does Jack Sparrow things and that's supposed to be funny.
it's not a parody.
No, there's
Yeah.
nothing like he's wearing the Matrix outfit, and that's the joke is that he's dressed as the Matrix. Like,
I think the last one that I saw was probably Scary Movie.
yeah,
And
Scary Movie. Like,
it was
is-
okay.
Yeah, it's as good as the Wayans are gonna do.
Right. But I mean, no shit. But at the same time, like, I mean, I think at least they knew what they were going for. It was,
But
it was
anything
a-
after Scary Movie
Yeah,
2, like,
don't-
even Scary Movie 2 is pushing it. Anything after that though is pure
Yep.
hot garbage.
Put it on the fire, burn it
Yeah.
all.
Awful.
Yeah, terrible. But I mean, I think that a parody movie can be good if it's written right. I just don't think that we are in an age where you can write parody films anymore. It doesn't seem like we can really. You're not going to get away with the stuff that you could get away with, especially the overtly sexual stuff back in the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine if they can't parody racism. You know, like I mean, aside from like you think of Airplane, and like the whole Jive Turkey conversation.
Yeah.
I think of that, and it's like.
Everybody like the like one of those awful bands. It's like totally horribly right wing now. Is like you can't make Blazing Saddles today, and I'm like, fuck you, fuck you.
Now I love
I watched
Blazing
Blazing Saddles yesterday. It's fucking hilarious, and everybody still thinks it's hilarious.
It's true.
It's how you do it. It's your intention
Yeah.
in your humor that matters. It's not. You can make the joke. Just you have to make the joke well.
Yep.
You know.
That's yeah.
People are going to tell. People constantly tell your generation that you're just you can't take a joke, right? That's what you hear all the time.
Because you're too woke.
100%. It's like, and it's just like, no, you're just saying it in an offensive way.
Yeah.
There is a way to not offend someone by saying it.
And just if you're going to say the words attack helicopter, go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah.
that's never going to be funny.
Nope.
Never going to be funny. That was never funny when it was first said. It's never going to be funny again.
No.
No. I'm glad I'm not in your generation, though. Honestly, because, I mean, well, because of the whole being called woke. What is so wrong with being woke? What is so wrong with understanding that there are plights in this world that we need to be, caring about? So, I just don't think I can handle it. I'm way too emotional.
Oh, you're hypersensitive. Fuck
you.
No. No, you're trying to take people's rights away and make a joke about it.
Well, the
Like,
hypersensitivity is projecting. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah, it
No
totally
doubt.
is. Yep.
no question.
So, but again,
But hey Jim racist, you can't say the N-word.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's never going to be funny when you do it. When you do it, it's never going to be
you
funny.
just sound like a fucking hillbilly. That's
You
all.
just sound
You
like
sound
an
like
asshole.
an ignorant hillbilly.
Because it's your intention is bad. You
It's
come
true.
into it with a bad intention.
Right.
You come into it to say something cruel.
Yeah.
And
So-
there's nothing cruel about this movie.
No,
like,
it's
there's
nice.
absolutely nothing cruel about this movie.
I'm sitting here really relieved, like, because there just could have been those moments, and I'm so glad there weren't. God, it was great. Who I couldn't figure this out. Who played Hannibal Lecter in the beginning?
Oh,
of
it's
it?
F. Murray Abraham.
I knew it. I looked at his face and I'm like, I know that guy, and I could not place his name. Okay.
Academy Award winner for playing Salieri in Amadeus.
Oh my god. Now there's a movie I need to go back and watch.
Amadeus is one of the greatest films of all time.
You got Tom Hulson though. You can't go wrong.
Every
But-
time I hear that word, all I can think of is Linda.
What?
She goes, Amadeus,
It's Amadeus. Oh, on Bob's?
Yep,
Bob's
pounding
Burger.
it into the wall, trying to get these raccoons to leave.
Oh, I love that episode.
Such a good
It
episode.
is a good episode. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, would you, if you saw this, and now from what we've told you about parody films, would you go back and watch some of these now? Or do you think it's like, okay, this is okay, but this is not my kind of film?
Well, it's like, I would watch them if they were like this.
yeah.
I think Hot Shots is like this. I
think
think
so,
Naked
too.
Gun 1 and 2 are definitely like this. Airplane.
Airplane,
is
of course. yeah.
Hilarious. Blazing Saddle, though. Wow.
Fantastic. Yeah. All of those. See that I would do a kind of marathon of those. If you're gonna do parody, I would do those. But this movie, I think, again, I'm just so shocked that it held up so well.
I'm just so shocked that it's not talked about now.
Yeah.
How does this not have a cultural footprint?
I think that's. I was thinking about that too yesterday. It's like, no one really ever talked about this movie. And so that had me worried, thinking, okay, maybe it just wasn't good. And I
Yeah.
went back and I read some reviews, and it's like, no, some of the reviews were pretty fun. And so, yeah, it just, what a relief. I mean, you're just holding your breath, especially, but you get
It's also an example, like, you can do this without being an asshole. You can make this
Exactly.
movie without being a prick.
and they had the 90s sax sting. I mean, my God, that's my favorite part. Like the opening scene, man, it's like, yes! 90s sax scene, there it is. I need it.
This was directed by a guy named Gene
Quinn?
Quintano,
Yeah.
who, just totally random. This guy, he was an American film writer, screenwriter, producer, but he also started his career as a Xerox salesman for his own office supply company.
See, people, you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it.
You can go anywhere. Make no sense with your choices.
Exactly.
He made his money doing that. He threw a bunch of money at 3D. He made a little bit of money in the 3D realm, and that led to him getting into movies.
What did he do after that? Like, I'd never heard of him. Ever.
Just about nothing.
Wow.
It's such a weird career. He went from this to Operation Dumbo Drop.
Oh, God.
And then he was the writer on, or I guess he was just the writer on that one, and the writer on Sudden Death. His final movie, prepare yourselves for this.
Oh, no.
Gene Quintano's final credit came in 2004 on the family movie Funky Monkey.
Nope.
Oh, no.
No.
Starring Matthew Modine and Roma Downey.
I know what we're doing. I know what we're going to watch.
Oh,
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, he did a great job with this.
I mean, he did.
Some of the best things were in the background when they're when they're at the crime scene and those cops are taking pictures with the Larry Bird cardboard stand up. Loved that. when they're walking by and there's cops doing flower arrangements
Yeah.
Just
at the
putting them
crime
in.
scene. These
This
little
goes here.
and but they're blink if you and
Yeah.
you'll miss it. I mean,
They
they're
lose
just,
Dennis Leary's body and the dog has it.
just laying right there and they walk right by it.
He's digging a hole, ready to put him in it.
He sees this dog called Sport that kind of looks like his dog Claire, and he's playing with it. And then all of a sudden, you see him in the background, and they're like, "Are they fighting or are they making love?" I
I think
couldn't
they're
really tell.
fighting,
I
but
was
I'm
getting
not
like this-
entirely
They're like
sure.
in a tussle.
It was very clearly a stuffed animal
Yeah,
dog.
which is even better. I fucking love that.
Those little tiny jokes that you like. Him every time anytime he's shooting, he's just rolling on the ground doing a barrel roll.
And Mel Gibson did that like how many times in the Lethal Weapon movies? I feel like he did that quite a bit. Quite a bit. I loved that. But again, going back to that doll, did you not get like Children of the Corn vibes with the old lady that smashed the window?
Yes.
it was an electric wheelchair, and then it wasn't. Oh, good times. Good times. Yeah. So I would tell anybody, go back and watch this, because I don't think you'll be disappointed.
I was shocked. I I still am kind of surprised.
Yeah.
I keep looking for something to be wrong with it.
Yeah. I'm going back through it myself. But I would recommend this movie. I would absolutely, if you want to see a good parody, and you like, let's say you just got done watching Naked Guns, like, now what? Well, I would say Hot Shots and then do this one. Why not?
I want to go back to the dinner scene. I go to Danny Glover's house. I mean, Michael. They go to Samuel L. Jackson's house.
Wes Luger.
His wife is cheating on him. He doesn't realize. Totally oblivious to it. With the grocer.
Yeah.
Yes,
They walk in like all arm in arm too.
Yes.
And they're just like,
And he, his mom or her mom has been dead for like 6 months.
He forgot to tell her.
He forgot to tell her. What the
did
fuck?
I forget to tell you that?
But meanwhile, Emilio Estevez is seated at the table.
They're having
and
pizza.
His Samuel L. Jackson's son and daughter and dog are sitting around him, and each of them starts to play footsie with him. It's such a great bit.
Once the dog's paw comes into play with, I'm just like, this is it. That's it.
That was the moment, right?
Such
When you
a
said
great
this
gag.
is-
Yep.
where that's like, this is okay. I'm okay with this movie now.
Yes.
I'm all in with this.
Fucking loved it. That was so great.
Hilarious.
Do you have a favorite gag?
That one, I think I like the door one.
Door one. Which one was the door one?
Whoopi Goldberg, and she
Oh,
opens
she's opening up all the doors?
She
Fuck,
opens
that
the
was
first
great.
door with all the locks on it. She opens up the second
the
door
bank
with
door.
all the... There's the vault.
The vault.
There's like 4 or 5 different doors, and then there's beads.
Yeah.
The beads are at the end. I love that. The beads are on the outside. So
There's
great.
Tim Curry dressed as a wilderness girl, but with a Tim Curry face and beard. She's just totally like, come on in.
The
It's totally
skipping.
plausible.
The skipping up to the door.
Oh,
you just see the wilderness girl's legs, and then you hear like a little cough, and then a cigarette drops to the ground. Great, fantastic.
But they'd already done that bit too, which is
Yeah.
very funny with Emilio Estevez getting out of his car and he puts out a cigar, a cigarette,
then
and
a
a
pipe.
pipe.
He just crushes the pipe with his shoe.
Again, it's just these little touches. They're
Yeah.
just so great.
So great.
The panes of glass during the final fight
Yes.
scene. Just Emilio Estevez is just punching people out, and guys are just walking up there and holding
plate
panes of
glass.
glass for people to fall through.
Tim Curry falling to his death and then missing the chalk outline and having to move himself over. That was God. I'm like tearing up. That was so good.
These jokes are inspired.
Yeah, they
I mean,
really are. The big huge canister of gasoline that shouldn't be in a cookie warehouse. I don't get it. It's like, I'm like, why is that in there? And they're like, because that's why we need to set the guy on fire, set the whole building on fire.
It's funny because later this year we're going to watch a movie called Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God, I
there's a
remember
movie. There's a part in this movie where the boss cop, the head cop, is like constantly yelling. And that's a trope of these movies at the time. Is like there was always a black captain, and all he did
Yelling.
was scream at the heroes. 48 Hours, Lethal Weapon,
Yes.
like every one of them. Beverly Hills Cop had the screaming black guy who the captain. And they
true.
they take the same actor from this movie and do the same joke.
Yeah.
In Last Action Hero.
Yep. Fantastic. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
But not as well. They don't do it.
Oh, they don't do it as well.
No.
I just want to hear the Def Leppard song. Is it 2 Steps Behind? God, I haven't heard that since 1993. That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that was this year.
That's fucking weird.
30 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, we're old, so. Yep. I don't know. I enjoyed it. This was great.
It was
Yeah.
great. It was definitely great.
An
And
actual good movie on this show.
A gift to us because we're about to watch some other really crappy ones coming up.
There are some in the near future that may not be nearly as much fun.
What are some that are coming up?
Oh, well, you talk amongst yourself for a moment while I
Yeah,
pull that
well,
up.
because we're going to do Untamed Heart, which don't say it because I don't want to hear it. And it's one of our mom's favorite movies back in the 90s. That's Christian Slater, yeah? Christian Slater?
Yeah, Christian Slater, Marissa Tomei.
Good God, it's going to be terrible. I remember the soundtrack for it. Like, I remember all of it.
We've not done a swishy romantic drama.
I think that's fine. I don't really want to do this one. But yeah, but I mean, hopefully we have more like this where we can have a little vacation from the pain.
I mean, how much of a vacation will the Crying Game be?
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Again, another killer soundtrack right there. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Is that Boy George?
yeah, fuck yeah. God, I remember turning on the radio and you'd hear like a really banging 90s track, and then all of a sudden it would go into the Crying Game and you're like, oh, well, I'm depressed for the rest of the day. Then it would lead into Annie Lennox's Why. You know, it's like, God, just kill me right here. So depressed. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
That's in the very near future, I believe.
I kept thinking that was 92. I don't know why.
No, it was 93.
So, oh God, Bodyguard's not this year, is it?
No,
that was 92.
Think so.
Swear to God,
I
that was
don't
92. I don't
remember
wanna
for
watch
sure.
Bodyguard.
Just pulling up the list of what's coming up. We have on the 26th, you have a choice between Army of Darkness, El Mariachi, or Falling Down.
God, those are all ones that I would sit through, but Falling Down, it's going to give me anxiety. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness, for fucking sure.
I can't imagine that Falling Down has aged well.
No. Although, like, my friend Jack, he used to tell me, he goes, you know what my favorite movie is? It's Falling Down. And I'm like, why? He's like, because haven't you ever just felt like, wouldn't it be great just get out of your fucking car and just start shooting the fuck out of people? I'm like, no, I've never felt that.
That's never...
I feel angry sometimes.
I feel concerned for that guy.
Well, he ended up going off to like Bahrain, and like he went through it. So yeah. But I mean, what else is coming up then?
CB4.
Oh, Chris Rock.
A Far Off Place.
No, that sounds sad.
Fire in the Sky.
That sounds awful.
That's an alien abduction film with D.B. Sweeney.
I've heard of that.
You might have.
Okay.
Let's see. Just Another Girl on the IRT.
What? I've never heard of that movie. We lived through 93.
It was an indie movie. It was quite popular at the time.
Okay.
Point of No Return with Bridget Fonda, which is one of my all-time guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
But that comes out the same week as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Fuck, we have to do that one.
I gotta say, on the regular show, Bob and I did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when it came out in 90.
Yeah.
I
great
was
soundtrack,
blown away how great that movie is.
Yeah.
I was never a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles guy. I was kind of like slightly younger than me when I got to a point when it came big. I was already too old for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You were 14.
I was already too old for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I was 13 and I fucking loved it. Those pudding pies, they were green on the inside.
The toys were for younger kids though.
Oh yeah, I didn't have the toys.
Yeah.
But I love the pudding pies.
They
were green on the outside.
I didn't really get into the Ninja Turtle things, and then Bob and I did that on the show, and I was like, "This movie is amazing, legitimately. Like, not even kidding. I was really enjoyed the movie."
Wow! And then you get to 2, and you're like, "Yeah, I don't care about this so much anymore."
Yeah, I didn't think 2 was as good, but I didn't think it was that bad either.
The first one has an excellent soundtrack. I still have it on cassette.
I have no memory of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 at all.
I don't either. That's why I think we should watch it, because it's probably really bad.
Born Yesterday is coming up, along with something called Hear No Evil.
Hear No Evil? I know that. Don't I know that?
It's not that Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor movie.
I was going to say, I'd sit through that.
And Married to It.
That sounds weird.
But probably the one we're probably going to end up watching is The Opposite Sex and How to Live with Them. Because that sounds like it's going to be off.
I already hate it. Bring it on.
It's just going to be terrible jokes about men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
I've got a yum yum, you've got a penis.
Why can't men put the toilet seat down?
Oh, no.
Women be crazy.
Oh no, she spent all of our money shopping.
Oh, you can't give a wife a checkbook.
Wah, wah. My
roles.
dinner was cold.
Oh. Oh, get Daddy a scotch.
I'm sorry, now we're doing bits from Kevin James's
Yeah,
show.
we have to stop that. We need to stop that right now. Good God. Yeah, so see, everybody should watch Loaded Weapon.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Loaded Weapon is fantastic. It is so good. I can't believe they didn't make another one.
Yeah, you'd think that they would have.
I would have thought you'd like totally be up for making another one of these.
I just, you know what? I'm kind of glad if they don't because.
I mean, they even made the joke sequel.
Yeah. Even better though, because honestly, it probably wouldn't be like this. I like that this is just kind of a little hidden gem, you know, and it doesn't have that long, drawn out sequel bullshit. So
It's so good.
it is so good.
Fucking, we didn't even mention John Lovitz
Yeah,
Playing-
doing the Joe Pesci
doing
character
Joe Pesci's character.
with
Yeah,
the blonde hair. And he
That
keeps showing up out of nowhere.
Biggest laugh in the movie. He's on a gurney. He's being loaded into something. You think it's an ambulance, and he's talking to Samuel L.
L.
Jackson.
Jackson's like, "You're gonna
I'm
be
gonna
fine."
be okay. Am I gonna be okay? You're gonna be great, buddy. Then they slit
The coroner zips up the bag. And they toss his body into the ambulance.
the corners, man.
Yeah.
Great fucking bit. Like
So
one of the
good.
biggest laughs of the movie. He shows up during the interrogation scene.
Right.
Yes,
He
he
just
comes
keeps
back.
showing up throughout the movie.
I like
Like, I
when,
thought you were dead.
right. When they go to Luger's boat to disarm the bomb.
Yeah.
And then he shows up with a little sailor cap on.
It's like, I'm trying to help you.
And then he's like, this wire's got your name written all over it. It actually says Becker on it. God, so good. So good. Really proud of Emilio Estevez on this
Yeah,
one.
he did a hell of a
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson was fucking great.
Yep.
Kathy Ireland was great.
Yeah.
We haven't even mentioned Shatner. Shatner's the bad guy in this movie.
And actually, I really liked him. Like, I normally don't like him in anything
Yeah.
at all, but I actually enjoyed him in this.
Well, Shatner's so weird because it's like him trying to do parody is strange because he's such an outsized parody just of his own
Of his-
existence.
exactly.
Like,
That moment, though, he sits on the couch and then he after he just dunks his head in the water, and then he gets out a brush and a blow dryer and just starts drying off
Combing
right
his hair,
there.
and I'm just like, where does it plug in?
It's not plugged in enough. That's the great.
No.
And he's just.
He's on a couch in the middle of the room.
I really wanted
Which is
it
a
to be that.
variation on a joke that, like, I think they did in Naked Gun, where like Leslie Nielsen like gets blown up, and then the next thing he just shakes his head, and his hair's back in place, and
That's.
it looks,
and I thought they were going to go there with this with that one. Yeah, I
they
thought he
did-
was going to be
they
dried
totally
off.
did like a
and-
nice little silly variation
Yep.
on that, where he doesn't even go completely dry.
No, because the sides of he's a little waxy in this movie. I'd say a little waxy, but
The
that's-
tooth looks
somewhat
good.
waxy.
yeah,
The
tube
tooth
looks
was
good.
like pretty
You
good.
believe he's a bad guy.
He's
so.
putting cocaine in cookies, in Girl Scout cookies.
great way to smuggle
he needs,
cocaine.
But he needs microfilm.
Yeah, what?
He needs a microfilm
What was
to
the
teach him how.
microfilm? What
The
was it?
microfilm was to teach him how to put the cocaine into cookies without it being detected.
Oh,
And why did he not know that already, though? Is my question.
and you've already got, yeah.
He's got so many cookies made already. And they keep testing these cookies and they have cocaine in them. So obviously it's working.
that bit where
But
Tim Curry's up on that bridge where all the cookies like are on those moving whatever they
conveyor
are
belts.
conveyor belts. And Emilio Estevez walks up and he's right there, and Tim Curry says, "I've been waiting for you." And if you look at it on the table in front of him, he's got a TV and like 6 boxes of old Chinese food.
He's literally been
I mean, He's
waiting.
been waiting all the time. I thought that was so understated, so subtle that
brilliant.
gag.
Absolutely.
I love that. Love that.
Absolutely.
Great cast. Great everything.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so shockingly good. I can't even.
Yep. I would watch that again. Like if I were flipping channels and that was on, I'd sit through it again. And I never do that especially with parodies. It's like, yeah, it's funny, watch it once and you're done. But I would definitely watch that one again.
And it's like apparently just like the last good one of these that was made.
Yeah, it sure seems
Scary
like
Movie again is kind of, I guess,
just
maybe.
the one. But even
Yeah.
that is pushing it. So
Even that one is like I would be concerned that would hold up. The only joke I remember from that one distinctly is a joke about Lachlan Monroe's penis
Yeah.
being super super small, and them having a picture of it, and like he's being blackmailed with it.
no, that'd be it then.
That's the
last time you laughed.
That's the last joke I can remember. The weed whacker joke with her privates.
Yep.
He takes her pants off, and like the bush just juts out into the air, and like the guy playing the Skeet Ulrich character has to get like a weed whacker out to try and get to her vagina. That's the joke.
That was where I started saying, after that scene, I started saying, "Let your garden grow." My sister and I would say that all the time. Sister, you gotta let your garden grow. You know, just be natural.
Wow.
Yeah, good times. Good
You've
times.
ruined gardens for everybody.
You're welcome.
Yep. Not that many people like to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even like mine, but I mean, it's there. You can have it at a price.
With a weed whacker.
With a weed whacker. That's fine. That's fine. Womp womp.
Yeah, that's how the show ends. A nice little wah-wah.
You're welcome.
First impressions, just guessing what you've heard now about Untamed Heart. What do you think it's about?
Well, it should be interesting. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. She's closing her ears, but I didn't say it.
I don't know why that disturbs me so much. I don't know. There's.
Do you think you're going to cry during it?
No, I don't think. Well, but with me, you never know. It's
That's true.
Kind of a weird.
I could be wrong.
Game.
Wait, maybe I'm thinking of the David Duchovny Minnie Driver movie. Maybe that's the one.
No,
with the-
because he got the heart from her. Or
Oh, no.
She got the heart from his wife.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
And I like
so
that
so
movie.
the premise of that film is that David Duchovny's wife died. Minnie Driver got his wife's heart, and then he falls in love with Minnie Driver because she has his wife's heart.
Isn't that weird, though?
That is so fucked up, right?
Yes.
I still love that movie. I don't know. Well,
It's
Mom and I used to watch
Return
it all
to
the time.
Me.
Return to Me, yes. I did. But then the more you think about it, it's like, wow, so do you love me? For your wife's heart.
Although that's kind of like a movie that I've seen that was also a book, The Host, and it was
the
like,
host, yeah.
and it was like she was in love with him because she was in his body or in this woman's body that loved him. This alien was inside,
Yeah,
and she.
yeah.
Oh,
but
Saoirse
then she
Ronan
also,
was in the
like,
movie.
The host.
Saoirse Ronan was in the movie of that.
I didn't see that. I don't think I want to see it.
It's not. It doesn't. It's good. I loved it in book form. I hated it in movie form. It was choppy. It was weird. It was just none of the characters looked right. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I was going to start a bit to see if the premise of this movie, Rick, was anything close to a Supernatural episode, because I figured you could probably relate anything to a Supernatural episode.
Probably.
I probably could. Well, I mean, there's the convenience store episode of there, and it's kind of like the beginning with the slushies, but the slushie actually just kind of falls out, and Cass is trying to, or as he's called then, it was, I believe he went by the name, I don't remember what name he went by, but he was like trying to get it, Steve. He's trying to get it back into the thing, and it was just not working, and the slushie's just falling out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We've lost the plot.
Every week I'm going to ask you if the movie we watch relates to an episode of Supernatural.
It's not a bad idea.
How did this movie made Loaded Weapon 1 made $51 million, and it did not have our favorite actor in it. Like, how did the most talked about actor of the time,
Jurgen!
Jürgen Prochnow, wasn't in this.
God, and
And somehow
everybody was in
still
this movie.
Everybody's in it except for Jürgen Prochnow.
Jurgen! I'm sorry.
Why? How?
Just wanted him to be in every movie in 1993.
Well, I mean, everybody did.
Ev-
He was the world's most
everybody
beloved
did.
actor.
Everybody
he
did.
brings the light to every movie.
He
We're gonna Mandela effect him into pop culture and history.
everywhere. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Now that's a movie I would watch.
100 years from now, people are gonna be researching Jürgen Prochnow. He was the biggest actor in the world? I don't see this anywhere. Then there's gonna be a YouTube video, really ominous, like, how did history remove Jürgen Prochnow? One podcast recorded the history, the timeline in which Jürgen Prochnow was the biggest star in the world.
I love how every single podcast we always end it with something about Jurgen.
Except for the last one, I think.
Wait, we didn't talk about Jürgen last
forgot
We
to
forgot
talk
about
about Jürgen
Jürgen
last
last
week. I know. It's an incomplete historic record.
Oh my god. I think we're going to have to go back. You just go back and like add on. Just say his name at the end. Just,
What was Jürgen doing this week? Check the National Enquirer.
you know what? For now,
He
I
was on
just
the cover every week.
He was because he was everywhere.
Dating Madonna.
He was featured on every album. He was in every TV show.
Remember that time NWA did a song about him?
God, I love that song.
I've listened to it 47 times.
Automobile featuring Jurgen Prochnow. It's the greatest end of you.
Now we have to go back and make a song so we can seed him into history.
Yes.
If you're a listener with that type of talent, please
contact us.
get in touch.
Change it to back in time as well, so the timestamp
Make
will
sure
look
it sounds
correct.
like it. Put it on a VHS and just drop it off at a Goodwill. Somebody will pick it up for their YouTube channel. Like, what the fuck?
Oh God, I would love that. That's a Christmas miracle right there. I want that to happen.
By the way, that's the only way you can get the video portion of this podcast is on VHS. You have to order it from us from the website. We got it on a VHS. We'll mail it to you.
It's 6565 Pueblo, Colorado.
That's why you're not on YouTube. It's the only way you can get it is on VHS.
Order now. Order now.
I tell you that I like just relating back to this movie, but not really like to the movie that inspired it, Lethal Weapon. The only time I ever got scammed over the phone was I was watching a late night infomercial for a 3-pack of loaded Lethal Weapon movies, and I called and I ordered it for $99 to get all 3 movies on VHS, and it never came.
You're kidding.
Broke my heart.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's sitting in some, warehouse in Culver City, California.
We're gonna record over one of those for this podcast and use it.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Loaded Weapon?
I
That's
may
enough.
have at one point, but it's pretty much.
We've said it all.
You're already getting ready for Untamed Heart, aren't you?
Oh, it's gonna be something. It's gonna
Do you know
be
why his
something.
heart is untamed?
Stop!
You're gonna watch the movie.
I know, but it still bothers me to even talk about it. I know what I'm getting into.
You're gonna be able to talk about it after?
No!
Well, all right then. You're gonna have to. It's a podcast.
I'm gonna let
course
MJ
you.
just talk for me through the whole thing. Amy doesn't want to
Close
talk
your
about it.
eyes. Close your ears.
Close my ears. Yeah.
All right, next week, Marissa Tomei, Christian Slater, Baboon Heart, Untamed Heart.
Oh!